Hi there, Amelia.
Hello, my darling. How are you doing? We're a different way round from normal. I'm on the right, you're on the left. That's interesting.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah. How are you, my love? There's so much going on in the world right now, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. It's pretty intense. And we're definitely going to dive into that. We're doing a little blip here so you guys can find us on the PPM network. It's free, but we really have so much to dive into that wouldn't be probably safe on YouTube. I know not everybody's happy with having to move over, but really it's a free platform. So yeah, I think we're dealing with stuff on a personal level, and because the micro and macro is very connected, and we win the war within in our micro world, to not let this overwhelm and get the best of us. Yeah, it's very interesting to see where we are individually in our own personal lives, and then what we're up against, and how we can combat what we're up against with really working the energy at home and within. So how have you been, and what's going on with you? And we'll talk about the topics that we're going to be addressing in today's show. Also,
yes,
right?
Exactly. Yes. So what we're doing right now is going to YouTube just for a short time. We want to let you guys know about this show. This show is happening every single Wednesday. And basically, I have a show Mondays and Wednesdays on PPN. And we really want you to be able to find it. Just navigate through, click on the links, come and find us, and say hi in the chat when you get there, because the PPN people don't use the chat as much. So we know you guys are really good for the chats, and we're completely uncensored on there. So when we were just going through what we want to talk about, and so it's so nice. Once we're in there, it's like when you get home and you take your shoes off and you put your feet up, it's like you can relax, because we're friends with the owners, and we can really just share and talk and answer your questions as well. So it's wonderful. It's really, really good.
Totally. Oh yeah.
I've been having some downloads about medical stuff, so I kind of want to I will explore further on the other side in PPN, but I want to talk a little bit about reevaluation of medical ailments. So anyone who's watching that has anything ranging from the severe to migraines, whatever, and I'm not a doctor, I just want to talk about the subject of health issues. And I've received a download about a different, fresh way of looking at them and possibly solving them. So that's quite interesting.
I love talking about that kind of stuff. I'm all about that. And as we talk, I mean, I've got all my herb emotional ally, rise and shine, y'all, instead of coffee, even though I still drink coffee. Deep stress, right? Liquid bliss. Oh, and that's nothing compared to all that I have. So I like to have these things in my arsenal to maintain. Not that, I want to overdo it either, but my thing that I want to bring up besides the medical stuff with you is how to handle rage in the face of injustice, right? How to remain centered and grounded in the face of attack or things that make us rageful. Now, some of the advice is just ignore it, but would you want to ignore a beautiful temple or a home or a house or anything that you might create as an art form be vandalized and be thrown trash at? Would you just say, oh, let's just ignore it? So there's some things you can't ignore. There's some things that should be ignored. But when, say for a metaphorical, just to frame it, you are a fireman and you're going in to take down a fire, put out a fire, and all the villagers are saying, oh, that fireman is responsible for the fire. They are the arsonist. They are, like a smear campaign towards the person that's coming in to try and fight the fire. That's really not fair. And that person doesn't deserve that reputation and doesn't deserve the rejection to the point where when you're coming in to say, put out the fire, they're saying, no, you're the one that's responsible when you're not. And that distortion of why are you coming near here? You're the enemy when it's the opposite. So the Eisenhower lineage has been targeted. I've been targeted with this kind of stuff. Multiple people in this field have been targeted. I know you do amazing work and have the issues that you deal with. And I don't want it to be like oh my gosh, let's just tell all our stories of how targeted we are. It's not about that. It's more about how can we maintain balance, health, and well-being in the face of it so that this is empowering, it's catalyzing instead of dropping our energy into trying to battle it. So that's kind of where I want to go.
Mm-hmm. No, that totally resonated what you said as well. And again, we can name more names and go into more depth once we're uncensored. But absolutely, you know, the fact that the enemy will attack those that it finds are a threat. So the goodest, the meekest, if you understand meek meaning good, the goodest on the planet, and I know that's not a real word, but we all know what I mean.
I love it.
The goodest will be attacked by the enemy. And so one of the things I do is when I see somebody having an attack done on them, when I see someone having a character assassination, it makes me stop for a minute and actually decide, is this person a threat to the enemy? Or on the other hand, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they, you know, maybe truth is being revealed about this person, but you have to take the moment to really decide. Don't knee jerk, because one of the techniques that the enemy loves is to accuse the innocent of doing what they're doing. And so you can actually learn what they're doing by the accusations that they make. It's the thing is, once you start learning, I think that's why on an etherical level specifically, as well as in the physical, but that's why myself and Laura are quite targeted, because when these things happen, they don't just happen to us. We study what the enemy was trying to achieve, so that then next time we can outsmart it. So yeah. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's a part of the training for the spiritual athlete and warrior, that we only get stronger in the face of it. And I think they don't realize that. I mean, at least for me, and I know for you and folks like us, that we get stronger in the face of adversity. The more you try and take away my truth, the stronger it gets. So it doesn't really work. So when people are like, oh, don't let them get to you, don't feed them, don't let them drop your vibration, it actually does the opposite. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. That is not me. Thanks for the laugh. You know, I might get a little bit bothered just because it's like, it just reminds me of how dark the world is and how ridiculous this is. But that's just kind of the way it is. But it doesn't really do what they are hoping it does. I like to flip it around. I like to de-weaponize the weapons. I like to look at them as a tool for my growth instead of something to be victimized by.
Absolutely. I really do think that's why the dark is especially interested in us, my darling. Now, we've already gone 10 minutes in. I wanted to just list out some notes that me and Laura were talking about as things that we'd like to cover today. And I know the time always goes really fast, but we just want to make sure that all you guys on YouTube jump over now to PPN. We're going to talk more about the management of rage, and as specifically in the face of clear injustice, and basically fighting injustice, as well as, from my mind, I would call it righteous anger as well. So I'm going to kind of just explore that from different angles, and then also then talking about people not compromising, people maybe falling into traps and cycles like alcohol and things like that, and how that's impacting the relationships that they're choosing in their lives, whether that's romantic, friendships, etc. So also the recognition of toxic the recognition of toxic patterns and cycles in others, so that you can make better choices yourself. And then very much because me and Laura are feeling the warrior energy today, just like, we need to fight our way out of this. We're it's, if we're under attack, instead of going like this, we go rah. And so this is a bit of a rah moment. So come and join us for that. And then the last one was unsolicited advice, when people try and give you advice that you haven't asked for, that kind of thing. So there's a few subjects we want to cover, as well as the medical that I mentioned. Was there anything else you'd like to add, Laura, before we head over to PPN?
Yeah, the medical is really, really important. And I mean, there's so many well-intentioned people that are just trying to help. So it's not really directed at them, but it's just, we're all about energy maintenance. We're all about purification and raising our vibration. When we think about ascension, it's an initiation. We have to move through some very difficult layers. So it's really about talking about it so that we can be at our optimal. And what are the things that hit us all the time that can make it difficult? We want to address, whether it's health, whether it's emotional, whether it's the fire energy within us. We're elemental beings. So we're going to talk about all that. And we always end up in places that are surprising because of the dynamic her and I have, and it's always a lot of fun. So come join us.
Absolutely. And those that are already watching on PPN, buckle your seatbelt. It's about to happen. It's about to go down. So yeah, we're about to shed light on subjects that maybe others shy away from. me and Laura actually enjoy it.
Yeah. So I guess we'll tell Kara to drop the feed on YouTube.
So Kara's going to drop the feed on YouTube, and we will just assume that it's done, and we will continue as on PPN. Maybe Kara could drop a message in the chat for us just to let us know that it's done. Okay, so where would you like to start amongst all those subjects? What jumps out to you the most right now?
I think the medical. I think we should start with that because that's
okay. Yeah.
Yes, you kind of